Hey everybody, Clay Archer, CEO, DPC Technology, and today I've got a real fun one. Today, we're going to test the new UniFi UDB Pro. We're going to change it up a little bit this week. It's going to be more impromptu. What we're going to do today is we're going to test two different scenarios with the new UDB Pro. The first test, we're going to try and put an AI Pro on a light pole in the front parking lot. This is a spot I really wanted a camera for a while, and I don't have a cable out there, so it's going to be a perfect use case for it. The second, and probably the more fun of the two tests, is we're going to take two UDB Pros and see how far we can get from each other and still have a quality link. Now, it's Florida. We have a lot of trees. I don't have a ton of line of sight. And these two devices are rated at 5 kilometers between the two of them. We won't get anywhere near that, but we will test it probably to 5, 6, 7, maybe 1,000 kilometers. Obviously, today's going to be a little bit different than our normal shooting days because we're going to be doing a lot of experimenting. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to take a lot of trial and error, and we're going to take you guys along for the ride. We did a review of the regular UDB last week, so I'll put a link down in the description for that review or a placard up on the screen, and check that out. It was a really cool device. I'm expecting this to be equally as cool, but we haven't used this device at all. It's going to be a lot of experimenting today. It should be a lot of fun, so with that, let's jump right into the review. So I'm going to roll some B-roll of what's included in the box. This is a typical UniFi device, so the packaging is always amazing, and everything you really need is included in the box. And straight from the store.ui.com site, this is a 5 gigahertz wireless bridge with PoE output that connects at 5+ kilometer distances or seamlessly uplinks to UniFi Wi-Fi. Link at 5+ kilometer distances with a point-to-point connection to another bridge device or uplink seamlessly with UniFi Wi-Fi Autolink. So what that really means is you can either take two of these and put them at 5 kilometers away or put one closer that's able just to get onto your Wi-Fi. So I'm going to test both of those use cases. The one in the parking lot will just be using the Wi-Fi here at DPC Technology, and the one across the lake, we will link two of these together. UniFi was nice enough to send me two of them so I can test both scenarios there. And each one of them has 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, and one of those ports is PoE output for PoE devices. So conceivably, and I'll test this as well, you can put a PoE camera or phone or whatever on it and have another output to put into a switch to just basically extend your network. And I'll test that out today. It's powered using PoE/PoE Plus. There's a pole mount included in the kit. It's weatherproof for outdoor exposure, and it's sold as a single unit. So if you want to bridge two of these together, you have to buy two of them. Each unit is $199. So if you're going to do the bridge two of them, you're going to be, $398 to do two of them. So you will need a controller. This can't be run standalone. So that could either be any of the UniFi controllers locally. It could be a local self-hosted controller, or it could be one of the cloud hosting providers. It does come with a PoE adapter, and it does need PoE Plus to do that PoE pass-through. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it here locally inside the office so that I can test it out and see how it works and everything before I bring it outside and mount it out there. So let's jump right into that test. All right, so I've gone ahead and plugged it in here in the NOC. And so basically there's a power cable that goes into the PoE device. Then there's a patch cable that comes from the PoE device to the UDB Pro, out of the UDB Pro. In this case, I've used an AI Pro camera that I have lying around. So basically those are all plugged in there, and I'm going to switch over the app here. The instructions say to use your mobile app, so I'm going to do that. I actually clicked out of the screen and back into the screen, so it did prompt me to adopt it, but I actually clicked through that. So I'm going to go ahead and click pending adoption here and adopt this device. Once again, you should always update your devices before you do this. You'll also notice I'll throw on the screen here too. On my desktop, it also found it in the desktop. So yeah, always make sure that you're on the latest version of your controller, the latest version of your WAPs, the latest version of your desktop and mobile apps if you're using those. So this is probably going to take a few minutes like it did on the UDB. All right, so it's coming up on the phone. You can see it's giving me a 52% quality rating there. And I've got some other stats and things that it will do here on the phone. But I am not really super interested in the using my phone to control this. I'm going to jump on over to the desktop now and show you the rest of it from there. All right, so let's jump on over here. You can see here in our topology, it is attached to our ACHD, and it did find the AI Pro automatically, which is amazing. I'm not going to adopt it here in the Cloud Key because, like the last video, I actually use this Cloud Key as a network controller, and then I use my UNVR Pro for my Protect. So anyways, that was quick and easy, just like the UDB. I will say that firmware update took a little bit longer on the Pro than it did on the UDB. But let's go ahead and click on the UDB Pro here. You can see that it's meshing to the ACHD. It's been up for 19 minutes and 42 seconds. That's a long time. Didn't think it took that long, but maybe that's when I first plugged it in. Anyways, device version and all that kind of stuff. Basic stuff like you always would see in your overview page. So I'll go into insights. Obviously, insights are probably something that you're going to use to just kind of diagnose and see what things are happening over time. And then in settings, this is probably where the rubber hits the road. So you can see this is called the UDB Pro. It is in child mode, and there is parent and child mode here for the devices. The parent is the ACHD, and you could see there's some other WAPs we have here in the office that it could have attached to. PoE pass-through is on. You can turn that off. Then you can make the IP settings either static or DHCP. It's got the LED on the device you can turn on and off. You can do a manual firmware update. You can do locate, restart, and remove. Very similar to what we normally see in these types of devices. This parent and child thing is probably something we're going to have to play with when we go into bridge mode here in a moment. Pretty simple and straightforward from that standpoint. Not really that much to it. All right, the one thing I am noticing here is that there isn't a port manager like there was in the UDB regular, not the UDB Pro. So, not quite sure about why that wouldn't be there, but in fact, it isn't. So, anyways, I'm going to jump right over into my UNVR and take a look and see if we can adopt that camera. Okay, I've switched over to my UNVR Pro, and you can see it automatically found the AI Pro. I'm going to go ahead and add that device, and it's going to do its thing. We're going over to Device Manager, and you can see here one new device is added, and that AI Pro is, in fact, here and online. Let's give it a second to update itself. I will say that I just unadopted this AI Pro. It was already on the network before, so it will have updated firmware and whatnot, so it probably will come to life quicker than you would expect. And there it is. It's actually sitting over there by Daniel's desk like the other one was the other day. It's actually on its side because it has the vision enhancer on it, which makes it not kind of stand up on its own. Anyways, for my testing, that's basically all I needed to see. Obviously, this is an AI Pro. It's a pretty nice camera. I mean, it's one of the nicest cameras, and you can see this image is amazing, and it is working just over the Wi-Fi, just hardwired to the UDB Pro, and then going wirelessly from the UDB Pro to a WAP that is in the NOC. So pretty cool stuff. A very similar experience for that part of the install to the UDB. The couple of differences were the firmware took a little longer to load on the UDB Pro, which, 5 minutes versus 2 minutes. The other thing is management over in the Cloud Key. I don't have a port manager. I'm going to also go ahead and rename this one Base because I'm going to play around with bridging the two of them together here in a bit, and I want to differentiate this one from the other one in the list here. Other than that, pretty simple install, like I said, on the UDB. Obviously, this is a pre-release version, so your experience may be slightly different, but I would assume that it probably is pretty close to being the final version. Really quick before I go outside, and obviously this isn't meant to be a comparison between the UDB Pro and the UDB because I think they're two different devices. Just wanted to quickly go over the difference. I said the port manager on the UDB is different than in the UDB Pro. I'm in the UDB right now, and I can go to port manager, and it brings me over to port manager. I don't have any plugged into it right now, but it would look more like a normal switch when you plugged in a device to it. You could control that port. It's going to tell you what the connection speed is and all that good stuff. On the UDB Pro, I don't get that option there. And so, this is early days. I don't know if that is by design or if that is the way that it just is. I don't get any of the features on that port that I would on the UDB regular. So stay tuned. I may have an update on that. I'll quickly ping UniFi and make sure that I'm not wrong on that. I'm going to go ahead and adopt the other UDB Pro here in the office before we go outside, and I'm going to set it to be the child and the other one to be the parent. But let's go ahead and I'm just going to show you this time. I will show you what it looks like in the software instead of in the web app. So if I go into the software, it's here, and it gives me the option to adopt the device. It says, adopt this device will enable PoE pass-through, ensure the device connected to port 2 supports PoE. Connecting a non-PoE device may result in damage. So I've got another camera attached to it. I've got a G5 Ultra turret that Sean put on there. I'm going to go ahead and adopt this device. If it's anything like the last one, it's probably going to take 5 or 10 minutes as it does its updates. All right, so it's adopted now. It's just quickly coming on like the last one did. Came in as UDB Pro parent. I'm going to give it a couple seconds just to let it get its bearings. It's all working as I would expect. I'm going to call this one child. This is the one that is going to end up going across the way. And so now we have our two UDB Pros. Sean's actually got the other one offline right now because he is mocking it up to go out in the front yard. So I'm going to quickly jump over to my UNVR. I should be able to see that G5 Ultra turret, which has been installed already. This is in our YouTube room, and it is facing right back up at the light, and it is on and rocking and rolling. That was a really quick, maybe that was 5 minutes for it to adopt, but AI turret jamming on the second UDB Pro. I'm going to go ahead and take the camera off it. At this point, Sean's got getting the first UDB set up to take out in the parking lot, and we're going to mock it up as if it was on the pole out front. So let's jump out there and let's see what we get. All right, so you can see Sean's out in the front yard area. This is the light pole that we're looking at adding a camera to. This is the PTZ actually through OBS that we're doing there. You can see a camera set up in front of him too. He's got the UDB Pro mounted up to a light stand, and he's mounting that AI Pro to the stand as well. We had to call a slight audible. Marty got called away on a server install today, so Sean stepped in with his Tesla, which has AC power on it, which is awesome. So he's going to go ahead and mount that AI Pro to the same device here, and we're going to test it out. When we went outside and fired the UDB Pro on, it immediately got connection. I'll show you here. I'll move it over here to my cloud key, and you'll see that the UDB Pro went ahead and grabbed right on. It moved WAPs. It moved over from this ACHD, which is in the middle of our office, just a regular U6. We're not using the world's most crazy routers here, so I think it's a good real-world test. Obviously I could be using U7 Pros or U7 Pro walls, or all the stuff that I got lying around here. But we didn't change anything from our regular infrastructure just to test it out as is. So, all right, so Sean's got it all installed there. You can see he's got the camera attached to the tripod there. He's filming a little bit for himself there. The UDB Pro looks like it's right in the middle at good. Got a good, nice, strong connection. And when I scroll down into the camera, it looks amazing. And so, the pole that I want to mount it on is the light pole right behind it. I think it's going to be perfect for this location. It's super windy today. We have a hurricane coming through tomorrow. We're here in Florida. There's Sean in front of it. I can see a little bit of the HDR effect, a little over processing the trees there, but that is the AI Pro, and it does that a little bit, but it actually makes the image look better for things that are closer to it. So I am super stoked with that. This location, it's definitely going to work for me. That was super easy setup. I didn't do anything different. All I did was just move the unit outside. It did ask me to change access points, so I don't know that it roams automatically. So I just clicked adopt a new access point. It did it, took 2 seconds, and boom, it's up and running here. So you can see Sean moved it down to the other end of the lot. Signal strength is strong. Signal looks good. Image quality looks amazing like it did before. Not really much to say here other than in my parking lot, anywhere I think in my parking lot, front, back, left, right, I think I'd be totally fine with using this device anywhere I could put a power outlet. I'm super excited about that because for my use case, that is, what I would be using this for. I don't own the property around me, so I'm not going to be extending this any further than in my parking lot. And everywhere in my parking lot, it's working perfectly. This is an AI Pro. It's doing all of the detections, doing all of the things, making everything happen. It's really awesome. And I'm really stoked about it. And with that, let's go across the street, see what it can do there. Sean went across the street to Money Pages. And so I've got the handy dandy G4 PTZ Industrial, and we will spy on him doing this. You can see him. He is setting up across the street. Both show the coolness of the UDB Pro and the power that is the G4 Industrial. All right, so let's see what we got here. Tell me when we're ready there, Sean.
Okay, it should be coming up, or if not up.
This is my G4 Industrial PTZ, which is it's just an incredible camera. But you can see he's a long, long, long way away. And lo and behold, guess what we got? We have an image. Isn't that crazy? So that's look ma no hands. That is a WAP inside the building over there. Let's go ahead and turn this on to high quality. We have a WAP in our building over here. Now the AI Pro is not mounted up high enough, so it's not got such a great image that far away. It's focused on the grass here, but the fact that I've got an image there is pretty incredible. And so what this pretty much means, if you've got a huge property and you've got some spots where you've got power and you've got a, you can put a weatherproof box to put the PoE injector, you pretty much can put a camera. I mean, this is a good 50 yards, 60 yards, maybe 100 yards. I'll go on to Google Earth and we'll test this out, but this is not using two. This is just using one, and it's going to an AP that is in the middle of our building there across the street. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. And I can see a lot of people using this. If you've got like a barn or an outhouse or something, a house across the street or, a dock or something, this would be incredible to run, just anything you want to run 1 gigabit Ethernet on. So, I'm using cameras here today, but you could just as easily put a switch on this. You could just as easily put a phone. Any IoT device would work here. This is an incredible way of doing it for $199 and not having to trench and run a cable. I'm doing some trenching to put in electric charging at our office. And the amount that my electrician is charging to do that trenching, it's insane. So for $199 to be able to do this, pretty incredible. So it's an amazing image. It's really nice. There's a little warping of the image because, again, it's windy. Hurricane Milton is coming through tomorrow, and we're starting to get some wind from it. But what an incredible, incredible image at that distance. I'm blown away by it. And sorry, I keep rambling on about it, but I'm just super impressed with that. And kudos to UniFi for making a product that works so well with another product that works so well. So, wow. I'm going to have Sean come back, and we're going to try and do it across the lake using 2 in bridge mode. All right, so this is what we'll call a happy accident or a happy failure. So Sean went to the other side of the lake to set up the bridge, and we fired it up, and it immediately worked, connected to our Wi-Fi. So this is a good, I don't know, I'll get on Google Earth and measure it out, but I'm going to say this is 300 meters away. I mean, this is a long, long way, a whole lake away from my office. You can see the office across the lake there. And this just fired up and worked. I'm fire back up in network just to show you what it's doing here. And here is a child over here, and its connection is called good at that distance. I mean, he is a long, long, long way away across the lake. That's amazing. So for most people, I would say just buy one of these units. And the other thing about it is I'm using an ACHD. I mean, obviously it's an HD, but it's an older WAP. I could definitely get more range out of a newer, stronger WAP than this. This is just killing it. And the performance is no shuddering. There's no nothing here. It's a smooth, beautiful image, no interruption of it. I would swear that was connected via an Ethernet cable. I mean, this is just unbelievable how far it can go. I'm not going to be able to get any further away than this just because of the amount of trees and stuff. This is because of the lake as far as I can get, line of sight. Behind this is I-95. It's and north of it, there's buildings in the way. So this really is going to be as far as I can go anyway. So in my application, as far as I can see, I would only need one of these. And that is pretty doggone amazing. And I'm using older Wi-Fi technology. So let me give this a whirl to try and get these linked up and give you my opinion of them and linked up. All right, so it's been a little while. That was kind of a successful failure. I didn't think that one unit by itself was going to work all the way across the lake. So what I've done is I've brought everything back here, and I just have them set up in the room. I can't go any further than that, so I don't need to run anything in bridge mode. So I've got this running in bridge mode here in the office. It's quite simple to do. I will tell you though, I had them both set up as individual units running cameras, and then I went to go set them up as in the bridge mode, and it kind of didn't work so well for me. So I ended up doing a factory reset on everything, and it just popped right up and worked. So I would tell you, if you're going to use them as a single standalone, use them as a single standalone. If you're going to set two up as a bridge, just do it straight out of the box as a bridge. If you're going to take a single standalone and then you're going to put it into a bridge, I would do a factory reset on it. It just popped up and worked for me immediately. I spent maybe an hour or so trying to make it work and realized, let me just do a factory reset on both of these, and then boom, it just worked. So I've got the two of them here. I named them AP and Station. That's kind of the older UniFi naming structure. They're called parent and child now, but anyways, I'm just old school, so I called it AP and Station. And basically all you do to set them up in this mode is you go into the settings here and you go to the device mode and you set the AP one to parent and you set the child one or the Station one to child. And so as soon as you click set it to child, then all of a sudden down here, and you didn't have this before, you'll see the other one as an AP here. So you can choose your device and it will just mesh right to it, and boom, it goes there automatically. One thing I didn't know whether it was going to work this way or not is the AP one or the parent one, the new naming, is hardwired PoE to our network. So this one is wired to our network. Pro Station is just Wi-Fi using the parent or the AP as its access point. And you can see it's obviously they're 5 feet apart, so they're doing well. What I will tell you, I'm not going to be able to test this in any further distance than we already went. What I will tell you is that this device is very strong. As a standalone, it went across the lake no problem. So if they're saying 5 kilometers, I would take their word for it. I have no doubt this will do at 5 kilometers. But super simple. Basically, just adopt the two of them. You can name them whatever you want. Call one of them parent, the other one the child. As soon as you name the other one the child, it will have that access point or the parents in there, and you just click on it, and boom, it just works. So that is super easy. So for me, just as kind of the name implies, this is a pro version. It's going to go a long, long way. If you need to connect two devices that you can see that are under 5 kilometers apart, I think this thing is going to work, and it's going to work well for you. Obviously, on the other end, we're putting cameras today. You could put a switch over there. You could put any IoT thing you want over there, and it's just going to work with a 1 gigabit Ethernet connection. So as far as the reliability and the connection, we've been playing with this all day. It's 6 o'clock at night now, and we started probably at 9 o'clock this morning playing with this. It has done nothing to make us feel like this is flaky at any point today. So 2 big thumbs up on the quality of the connection, 2 big thumbs up on the install. I think this is a super easy install to do, especially in the standalone mode. Basically, all you have to do is have power where you want it, and it just automatically works. So with that, I'm going to go through a couple questions that I had, a couple questions that my staff was asking me. I just really quickly also want to give a shout out to Spencer over at UniFi. He helped me today. I texted him 5 or 6 questions, and he walked me through a bunch of stuff, made sure I wasn't being an idiot. The team over at UniFi, the last 2 or 3 years has been so helpful. They really have turned a corner over there, and I feel like they're one of the most responsive partners that we have now. So anyways, just shout out to Spencer. Thank you so much for your help today. But here are my questions. First of all, weatherproofing on this. So it is IP6 rated. You definitely could put this out there, and I think it's going to be totally fine. My one kind of question when I first got it was, you have this PoE injector. I'm probably going to have a box somewhere to put that in. And so you are going to have to deal with that. And I thought maybe that's going to be a big deal. The more I kind of played with it, the injector's not that big. And because I'm coming out of that injector and I'm going into the bridge, I've got the ability to put that injector anywhere I want to. So for me, I want to put these on the light poles out front. I'm getting those installed in a few weeks. And I'm just going to have them put a little box for me and a power. And I'll just run a cable up the light pole and put the camera up at the top. So for me, that's going to work out fine. I think for most people, you'll find mounting the PoE injector is probably not going to be that big of a deal, but you do have to account for that. So just, that going forwards. Future Clay here. I just wanted to jump in real quick and show you basically what the distances we were at today. So I'm going to use the measuring tool here in Google Earth. And the first place we did, it was right here to the middle of the office, which was about 23 meters, 23.25 meters, give or take a few. So let's just call that 20 meters on the first one. No problem. Then we went to the other end of the building here to here, and that was about 30 meters. Again, no problem. Then I thought I was challenging it by going across the street to Money Pages. Again to here, about 90 meters. Obviously it's going through the walls and all that kind of stuff too to get to that AP. And then the last one, same AP, middle of our building, going over to where Sean was here at 222.69 meters. So 650 feet, a long, long way for it to be using just regular Wi-Fi. Just want to show you guys that real quick with some measurements so that you could get some conversion of what you think your property would look like and how you think it would perform. So, I think I still had some distance in with one unit at this spot. I wasn't kind of flaky or anything, so there may be even more in it than that. But certainly, obviously, when we're talking about distances, I mean, we're talking 5 kilometers is, man, it's a long, long way. We're talking, I mean, you need a tower to go this far. I mean, it's almost to downtown. It's halfway to downtown from my office. If you know Jacksonville, Florida, that's a long, long, long way. Wish I could test that. Not really practical here, but anyways, for what it's worth, I just wanted to show you guys that. And now back to the regularly scheduled programming. One other thing, and I meant to say this earlier in the video, and it didn't end up coming to play today. Wi-Fi is really hard to review. I've got older WAPs here. I didn't upgrade my WAPs. I was like, you know what? Am I going to have some trouble? Obviously, this thing way overperformed, but I will tell you that with Wi-Fi, just in general, your mileage may vary. I'm going across in a business park. I'm going across a lake. There's probably 100 businesses around that lake. So the spectrum is definitely being, kind of barraged in this area. And I had zero problems. But that being said, I would always take a Wi-Fi review with a grain of salt. And you'll see that's one of the reasons that most people don't do Wi-Fi reviews, because it's so environmentally dependent. People are going to ask about security. It's a normal Wi-Fi connection, so it's as secure as your encryption type. Just like with any Wi-Fi, you just need to be a good steward of your network and make sure you are doing best practices. That brings me to VLANs, and I was really concerned. You saw me ask a question earlier about there not being a port manager, and there is no switch in this. It basically doesn't work that way. So how do you do it? And it's pretty simple. If you go into the device itself and you click this little button from Network Override, so if you click there, it will prompt you, proceed with caution. Ensure the new VLAN is allowed, tagged, on all upstream switch ports to avoid UniFi device unreachability. So you can click proceed there, and as soon as you do, your virtual network has dropped down, and you can pick whichever virtual network you want it to be on. So VLANs are doable through this. It works just fine. I went ahead and tested that. It worked fine for me. So you have no problem there if you need to do VLANs. I may suggest that they change that a little bit so that that's more obvious. That's probably going to be an Easter egg that most people don't find and probably have some questions about. This is a real small one, but the little door on the back of the device itself has two little cutouts. One of them is already pulled out, and so basically those are where your patch cables go through. The other one that is not punched out is a little tough to get out, so I had to get a pair of wire snippers to pull that little notch out on both of those. They could make that a little bit easier to service in the field for sure. But other than that, that's all my questions and all my comments. I think this is going to be another one of UniFi's big sellers. I really like the UniFi UDB. It's actually sitting next to me. I've been testing that all week. But this brings it to a whole nother level. The way I'll summarize it is the UDB is perfect for inside of your office. Anywhere you're outside where you need to go to a pole or to an outbuilding or that kind of stuff, this UDB Pro is going to be your device. For $199, you won't have to trench. You won't have to worry about anything. All you need to have is electricity. It bridges everything for you, which is really amazing. And for those of you that need to cover a super long distance, up to 5 kilometers, it's super easy. You just plug one of these into your PoE switch, assign it as parent, assign the other one as child, go ahead and put it out in the field, and they will just attach to each other. It couldn't be any easier. Obviously alignment, I didn't test alignment at that distance, but I'm assuming just like there are other devices that I have used, that it's not that difficult to do. And with that, I want to thank Sean real quick. He helped me do this all day today. It's a really crazy day around here. Obviously, we're running a big MSP. It's the day before a big hurricane's about to hit Florida. So also everybody out there in Milton's Path, take care of yourself. By the time this goes live, hopefully we're all in a recovery mode and it hasn't been as bad as it looks. But it was a hectic day, and Sean was a superstar, driving here and there and letting us use his Tesla to have AC power to power these things everywhere we wanted to test them. And with that, please put any questions down in the comments down below. Like and subscribe, do all the things that help that algorithm, and we'll see you guys in the next video.